Hi, guys, and welcome back to Midday Matcha with Livi. Clearly, I am fucking Livi. Okay, let's just address the elephant in the room. If you're watching the YouTube, I look a little sad. I'm looking at myself right now. I'm bitch, you look fucking depressed. And then if you're listening to this, I feel like we can all just tell my energy's off. And I would have loved to come in here and act like all was well and all is fine, all is dandy. But it's not. And I did kind of want to hide this. I'm not going to lie. I did want to hide why I'm so sad right now, but I'm not going to. I don't know. I just feel like if anywhere I'm the most open and vulnerable, it's on this podcast. And it's a lot easier for me to be open and vulnerable on the podcast than it is for me to be on TikTok. But because y'all fucking hate really aggressively on TikTok. So that's a little bit difficult sometimes. But I talked a lot about the guy that I was seeing. And even though I was oh my God, I want to keep this private, I'm going to keep this private, I didn't. I think even in last week's episode, I was oh my God, I'm in love. I'm in love. And I'm keeping that fucking in. I'm keeping that in the episode because that's how I felt in that moment. So I don't want to discredit that whatsoever. But yeah, he definitely ended things last night. So makes me a little emotional. Obviously, I think anyone would be emotional over something like that because this was probably the first person I ever met that I actually could see myself in a relationship with. So that's definitely a hard thing to come to terms with in a sense. You're oh, this person felt low key, perfect for me. It felt so good. Everything was so good. So you're bitch, why the fuck did he end it? Let me just tell you, what it is basically a bitch had too much trauma. Apparently, I just had too much trauma. I do think he was a little bitch in the sense, I'm I'm not gone, bitch. No, I do think he was a little bitch in the sense that I told him that. I told him I do have a lot of trauma that I'm actively working through. I'm actively working through these things. They're not going to be healed overnight, and it'd be insane if it was healed overnight. So yeah. He ended it because I have too much trauma. Basically that's what I say. It's just I don't know. I don't know. I literally don't fucking know. I just feel he couldn't handle it. Couldn't handle it. I also am I had a Menty bee, and we'll get into it in this episode because this episode's all about Menty bees, mental breakdowns, you guys. And yeah, we'll deep dive on all of that and everything. But yeah, I like to just say that he ended things because I had too much trauma. And it's a really hurtful thing because this person really did push me to be open and vulnerable. And I was open and vulnerable. And as soon as the second I was open and vulnerable, he's I gotta go. Bitch, I gotta go. And yeah, I just think nobody's perfect. Relationships aren't perfect. But if you want something, you work towards it. That's how I view everything is I never expect anybody to come into a relationship perfect. I feel I did that for so long throughout my life, and it's I'm not doing that to somebody. That's so unrealistic. It's relationships are work. It's not going to be easy whatsoever, and he just wasn't willing to put in the work. Cuz I was fucking working, bitch. I put my ass in therapy again, not again, I was just going more frequently cuz I wanted to be open and vulnerable, and I got to the point where I was open and vulnerable. It just hurts. I know I'll be over it in a week. I go see Nicole this weekend in Miami. Thank God. A Miami trip could not. I did not end up seeing Nicole in Miami. Go look at my story time on TikTok for that. But basically, my dead friend didn't want me to go to Miami, so I was not in fucking Miami. But I get to see Nicole, which I'm just really excited about because she's healing. Me crying about Nicole. I'm I just get to see Nicole. I'm so excited. No, yeah, I feel there's nobody better I could be with this weekend while dealing with this. And I truly do know I will be over this in a week because I've buried my friends. I've buried my cousin. I've buried fucking, I've had extreme significant deaths. You think this shit's gonna take me out? Babe, no, it's really not gonna take me out. Am I gonna cry for a couple days? Abso-fucking-lutely, and you should too. And honestly, even if it takes me more than a week to get over, who gives a fuck? That's just life. I don't care. Whatever. So yeah, I just wanted to address the low-key elephant in the room because it's like I couldn't just like come on here and be like, "Hey guys," and you're like, "Bitch, why are you shedding a tear a little bit? Like, why are you shedding a tear? That's so weird." But I am excited to be a slut in Miami. And I honestly, you guys, I wish I could just pop my pussy like that. Like, I wish it was like that easy for me to be like, "I'm gonna go fuck all of Miami." I can't. Like, I genuinely cannot. Maybe I'll try this weekend. Maybe I'm really just gonna put a lot of effort into it this weekend. But yeah, um. I deserve the world. I'm a fucking queen. You're not going to treat me like that. You can get the fuck out of my life. And that will never change. And that'll never fucking change. I do feel embarrassed because I talked about it all on social media. But when I tell you, I was confident in this working out. I was like, yeah, I just guess I didn't realize how much of a little bitch he was. You know, I just didn't realize he wasn't willing to put in the work in that sense. And like, had a mentee bee. Maybe it scared him the fuck away. Good. Because I have a lot of mentee bees, bitch. But it's like, I have that mentee bee. I brush those tears away. I grab my fucking iced coffee and I run my fucking business. And that's just how I've always operated. So, let's get into this week's episode, which is all about mentee bees. And that is my specialty. A good old little mental breakdown. Anyways, why am I making this episode? Because I've been having a lot of mentee bees recently. I've just been in my feels emotionally. I'm stressed with work. I'll be honest. I'm stressed with work. We'll get into that, whatever. But I'm making this because, yeah, work life and just emotional life and personal life has been pretty stressful. And that's normal. I personally love a mentee bee. And I think they get like, everyone's like, oh my God, like, God forbid you have a mentee bee. Like, fuck off. Sometimes you need to just have a mentee bee to get it over with, go on through your day kind of thing. So, yeah, I just feel refreshed after my mentee bee. I'm like, I needed a moment to cry. Like I said, like I literally, like I just needed a moment to cry. I wipe those fucking tears. I grab a nice coffee and I run my business. I am quite literally showing you today what I do after a mentee bee. Like, did I have a mentee bee last night after we ended things? Like 100%. Yeah, I had a fucking mentee bee. And now I could have canceled this studio session. I could have been like, oh my God, I'm heartbroken. I just like can't. I can't fucking record today. No, I pick myself up. I wipe those fucking tears. I get my chai latte with a shot of espresso and I bring myself in here and I record a fucking episode for you, okay? I have a mentee bee. I wipe those fucking tears. I keep it going. That's just me. And I feel like mentee bees get such a bad rap around here. Everyone's like, oh my God, like I can't believe she had a mentee bee. Or even to ourselves, I feel like we're hard on ourselves. Like, why did I have a mentee bee? You had a mentee bee because you're a hardworking woman or man and you needed a moment to just break the fuck down. And you're going to wipe those tears. You're going to get your ass up and you're going to be okay. So like, I want to talk about like why I have mentee bees and like how to cope with mentee bees and also like fuck that stigma around a mentee bee that's like, oh my God, they're so negative and they're like so not good to have, like no, fuck that. Like have the emotional release, you deserve it. So let's get into what a mentee bee is. A mentee bee is a mental breakdown. When I think of a mental breakdown for me personally, that could go two ways. Either one, sorry guys if I'm moving a lot in the YouTube, it's just like whatever. That could go two ways. Number one way being where I just have like a full fucking panic attack and it's like the shaking, the crying, the like, kind of thing. And it's just like everything's overwhelming and you just have that mentee bee real quick. Or I just have like a little crying fest where just everything feels, yeah, I'm fixing my titties, fuck off. Everything just feels like super overwhelming and you just like have a quick little mentee bee where you just like break down a little bit. And I think they're both like completely fine. Like whatever your mentee bee is, it's like your mentee bee. Like everyone has them unique to themselves. Mine's a quick little, it's probably like a good hour cry. Like a cry. I've had mentee bees where it's like full panic attack, full fucking mental breakdown. It's not even a mentee bee, it's a full mental breakdown, like code red kind of vibe. And I'll get into that later on in the episode. But yeah, I feel like a mentee bee is unique to whatever you want your mentee bee to look like or to be. Like, and that's okay. So let's get into why I have mentee bees. Like, what's triggering my mentee bees? I also want to talk about burnout too. We're going to get into burnout later in the episode because I get a lot of questions from you guys about like, how do you deal with burnout? And I was always like, bitch, like, I don't have burnout. I burnt the fuck out. Anyways, so we'll get into burnout as well. But I have mentee bees when I'm just like, Oh, it could be like I burned my neck on a curling, like, look at this. It's so fucking ginormous on my neck right here. I burned my neck on a curling iron and I was like, I'm going to lose my mind. Like, and I just had a fucking mental breakdown real quick, and then it spiraled and I was like, why do I hate everybody in my life? And like I have to hire a lawyer, and like I'm just tired, and like I'm just exhausted, and I'm running a business. And then I'm like, okay, like I'm ready. I love my lip gloss. I look amazing. I look gorgeous. Like I put my clip-in extensions in, I get my fucking iced coffee, and I go. Like I could have a Menty be over that, or I can have a Menty be because I'm genuinely just stressed with work, or my anxiety's high and my OCD is just like through the fucking roof and I'm touching trees like no other. And it's like those are just ways or like times that I have Menty bees personally. And it just feels like everything just like piles on top, and I'm just like, like I just need a moment to fucking tear up. I just need a moment to cry a little bit. But yeah, and when I feel like I'm pulled in several different directions, like it just like feels like a lot. Or yeah, just honestly too, like I'm a perfectionist, so when I don't feel like something's up to the standards that I want it to be, it can trigger a little bit of a mentee bee, in the sense that like I just hold myself to a very high standard, which is like, I'm not saying that's fucking healthy. It's no, it's not. But like I deal with perfectionism. So if things are not the way that I want them to be, it can feel very overwhelming and very stressful. And I think that's just like a sign of perfectionism. Like I'm aware of that. So yeah, also the unknown of life can just be like a little bit too much for me to handle, and like the anxiety of it all. But yeah, so that's kind of how I struggle. I would say it's mostly like my anxiety and my perfectionism like mixed together. And then it's like a little thing like I can burn my neck on a curling iron and it just like sets off everything. And I'm like, I can't believe I have to hire a lawyer, because that's like a big thing in my life. I'm expanding my team, and like it's a little stressful for a girl like me. I think people, not people, I think specifically I sometimes forget that like I got thrown into this influencer world really quickly, and I'm so fucking grateful. Do not get me wrong. I'm so grateful. I'm living a dream. Like I'm living my personal dream, but it can be so overwhelming because it's like I don't really have anybody to go to like ask them for help for anything. Like, you know how you like go for your friends or your family to like ask them for help? Like I can't go to Sissy and be like like, do you think that I should get a lawyer to look over my contracts, kind of? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I'm the first one out of everyone that I know that's doing the influencer world, so that can feel overwhelming. Like there's so much and there's so unknown that I don't know. I will say I have a great team around me now, but in the beginning I was like, I can't do this. Like fuck the business side of things. Like honestly though, fuck the business side of things. But yeah, let's get into, so that's like why I have mentee bees. I feel like everyone has a different version of why they have a mentee bee, but like how to get over a mentee bee. Okay, let's say you've had your mentee bee. Your lips are puffed, your head hurts, the tears are gone. You look in the mirror, it looks like you just got punched in each eye. Bow, bow. You know what I mean? Like you're going through it. Clearly, you just went fucking through it. Headaches, everything. I think it's really important to recognize why you had the mental breakdown. So for me, I'll be like, oh, I had this mental breakdown because I'm stressed about work. And it's somehow someone brought up a brand deal and I just bursted into fucking tears. And it's like, okay, so the reason I had that was because I'm stressed about work. So I think it's really important to understand where the mentee bee is coming from and like why you're having that mentee bee. And I just think that's super important so we can get down to the root of it. Because once you get down to the root of why you had the mentee bee, I think it's a lot easier to prevent them from happening. And sometimes I think, yeah, like mentee bees are good, but if we're having mentee bees every day, I feel like we need to like do something to like come in between them and be like, okay, so like what the fuck is that? But yeah, I think getting down to the root of it is the most important part. Like, okay, why did I have this? What is triggering me? What is the trigger? That's what we want to figure out, is what is the trigger? Because once we identify the trigger, we can be like, oh, okay, so this is the trigger. This is how I'm going to handle this moving forward. It's not as serious as my anxiety is telling me it is. Like your anxiety is fucking lying to you, and it's okay. I had the mentee bee. We're all good. I figured out the root of it. We're going to keep on moving. I'm going to grab my fucking iced coffee and I'm going to run this business. Okay. So I just think it's important to know what the root of it is. We want to get to the bottom of what made you feel this way, to address it. I think it's also important to remind yourself that like once, like I said, like it's just your anxiety. Like it's quite literally just your anxiety. Your anxiety is lying to you. Your anxiety is just, and like anxiety is fucking overwhelming, you guys. Like anxiety is telling you thoughts that you don't even want to deal with. And so it's just overwhelming and it's lying to you. I think that's the biggest thing is like your anxiety is lying to you. Like things that feel so deep and so heavy or like are built up in your head to be like so extreme and things like that. It's like it's just your fucking anxiety lying to you and being a little cunt. You know what I mean? So I think it's important to remember it's like your anxiety is going to make everything feel 20 times worse than it normally is. And I think it's important to remind yourself, hey, I'm okay. I got myself. I'm good. These thoughts in my brain are just thoughts in my fucking brain. And it's okay. I had a mental breakdown. It's okay. And that's the biggest thing is like feeling okay after the mental breakdown. Like I know I feel a lot of guilt sometimes after a Mentee B. I'm like, holy fuck, like I just had a Mentee B. Like it's so stressful and these things. And it's like, bitch, you're gonna have another Mentee B because you're like freaking yourself the fuck out about the Mentee B that you just had. So it's like, it's okay. I think my biggest thing I want to get across here is like, they're not bad. They're good to have. It's good to have a little breakdown once in a while. You're a fucking human being. It'd be absurd to go through life and you don't once in a while just cry your fucking eyes out over something that might be so random as to burning your neck on a curling iron or your anxiety's just fucking overwhelming and like that's okay. But if we're having them every day, that's when I'm like, let's get into therapy. You know what I mean? Like let's get into therapy. I think mine happens like once a week. And I was talking to my friends about this too, because that is actually the reason the man and I ended things was because I had a Mentee B and he's a bitch. Anyways, I was calling my friend and I was like, her guy too was like, she had a Mentee B in front of him and he was like, the fuck was that? And it's like, it was just a little Mentee B. I think there's so much more common for women because I truly think men don't know how to handle their emotions. And it's just like, yeah, I had a little Mentee B, but I'm good. Like I don't need like clinical treatment. And that was also what was really pissing me off is that like he was like, I'm just trying to be there for you. It's like, bitch, I'm good. Like I don't need anyone to be there for me because like Sissy gets my FaceTimes at least once a week of me having a Mentee B. We walk through it together and we're good. And I was telling my best friend that and she was like, yeah, like it's a quick Mentee B. Like we have those like once a week. Like it's a thing. You know, like it's a thing for women especially. And it's like men are like, oh my God, she had a mental fucking breakdown. Like, is she good? Is she good? It's like, babe, if I didn't have this, then I'd be a little bit more concerned. Like, sometimes I just need a fucking cry. Like sometimes I need a good cry. Don't always want it to be in front of the guy that I'm talking to or things like that. But if it happens, it happens. Like I'm never going to apologize for having a Mentee fucking B. You know what I mean? Like I had the breakdown. It is what it is. If you're going to be a little bitch and you can't handle it, that's on you. That says way more about you than it does me. I'm emotional. I'm letting my emotions flow. What I'm feeling, I'm letting out. Okay. Cause it can feel just like it's built up in there. Like I'm letting that fucking go. And if it's too much for you, walk the fuck away. And I'm like, bitch, he did. Like, he did walk away. No, but it's like, that's fine. Like, I'll hold the fucking door open for you to walk out of my life. If a mental breakdown's too hard for you to, like, hold, like, fuck no, absolutely not. How are you going to be in situations when it's actually, like, a serious mental breakdown and my friend died? Like, that's when the mental breakdowns are like serious and it's like, holy fuck, and they happen. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, if you can't handle a little Mentee B because I cried over like just something that's stressing me out, then you probably can't handle me in general. Get the fuck out. But I just think men are like really not accustomed to a Mentee B and they get like really freaked out once they see one. And I think it's honestly just the wrong men. I think I'm phrasing that incorrectly. I think it's just like the wrong men that are just like, what the fuck? But yeah, like men just like cannot handle Mentee Bs because I've had a couple Mentee Bs in front of like a lot of guys. And honestly, actually, no, my ex-boyfriends were really great at handling my Mentee Bs. So I guess it's just like the little bitches I'm dealing with currently that just like cannot handle a Mentee B. Because I've had like two. Like I had my coworker, I had a Mentee B, and we'll get into that Mentee B, but I had one in front of him. You would have thought like he was like, oh my God. And it's like, bitch. Okay, actually that one was a little concerned. No, but it's just like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So I just think like men really do not know how to handle them. And don't get in your head about that if a man is making you feel shitty about a mental breakdown that you had. Not their fucking business. And if they can't handle it, it says a lot more how they can't, their emotional capacity and how they live their life more than it does you. So I think that's just like a really important thing to keep in mind. Let's talk about burnout. I've been feeling burnout recently. And I feel like burnout comes with a Mentee B, like just a Mentee B of like, I'm burnt the fuck out. And like, I think that's normal to have burnout too. I felt burnout a couple times. So we'll get into the ways that I felt burnout. Also, something I don't like is I'm going to be talking about my burnout in present tense of my life. And you guys know my life is all about, like, I do social media full time and stuff. And it's like, I don't know, sometimes I feel like a little bitch for being like, I had a mental breakdown about like my job, because I have such an amazing job and I'm literally so lucky and blessed and I'm so fucking grateful to be in the position I'm in, that I almost hate being like, yeah, I had like a little bit of a breakdown about it, because it's like, bitch, like you like dreamed of this for so fucking long. But at the same time, or that I felt burnt out from this, I feel so much guilt that I felt burnt out from my job sometimes, because it's just like, I dreamed of this for so long. Like, I shouldn't be feeling guilt. Like, I shouldn't be feeling burnout kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, no, I shouldn't be feeling burnout and I shouldn't be feeling like overwhelmed or things like that. But I just think, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to touch on that because, like, I am going to be talking about my job and, like, because that's what is bringing me the burnout. And I know, like, a lot of people could be watching this, like, bitch, be so fucking for real. Like, it's hard to make a TikTok. And it's like, no, it's not what I'm talking about. Like, I love making the TikToks. It's just, like, sometimes I feel a little burnt out and I want to deep dive into that. But, yeah, I get it. Like, if you're watching this and you're like, bitch, you're literally burnt out for making a couple fucking TikToks. And it's like, it's deeper than that, I swear. But we'll get into it. So I've done this podcast for 3 years. The first time I felt like true burnout, actually I felt burnout a lot with this podcast, and I just kept fucking pushing. Like, I strive to do 52, I not even strive, I make sure I do 52 episodes a year. So that is like an episode a week. Like, I don't know if you guys have realized, I'm really strict on my grind with the podcast, especially. And I've been doing that for 3 years. When I had 1,000 people listening to now I have like 10,000 people listening. You know what I mean? No matter what, I was like strict on that schedule. And I feel like that caused a lot of burnout, and it almost made me resent the podcast in a way, because I was like, fuck this thing. Because like weekly episodes is hard. Like, I'm the one that's writing them. I'm the one that's obviously doing this, which like I absolutely fucking love. Do not get me wrong. And I'm the one that's editing them. I do have an editor that I brought on now. Emma, I love you. Emma, you know I love you. Emma, you know I love you. But like, she does my social media clips and everything like that. So it's just, but feeling burnout, and I feel like you can relate this to any work that you do or any of your personal life, but it's just like, you're like, fuck, like I literally don't know how much like I can keep doing this. So like, I took a break from the podcast for the first time. It was a 2-month break, and it was in the beginning of this year, and I was like so stressed about taking a break. And it was like, I literally was doing weekly episodes for 2.5 years. Bitch, take a fucking break. Like, I wouldn't do episodes on Christmas or Thanksgiving, but it's like, take the fucking break. Like, that's totally not fine. That's totally normal. But I don't know. Me personally, I think it deals with the perfectionism too, where it's like, I just feel like I'm like failing a little bit, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Like, why am I taking a break? Like, I don't need a break. And it's like, it's okay to take a break. And that's one thing that I really want to talk about, is like taking the break before the burnout comes. Because once the burnout comes, you just feel like fucking drained, fucking exhausted, just overwhelmed. But yeah, and then there just came a point where it's like, okay, I need a break, which, yeah, like I said, super difficult. I don't love taking breaks because, yeah, oh my God, I'm like just so good. Like, everything I wrote down, I like just like talk about freely. Anyway, sorry. But for instance, my work life and my personal life, I have no balance. And I think it's because like TikTok is my full-time job, and then the podcast is my full-time job, and Instagram, like all social media is my full-time fucking job. And I feel a lot of, I've always had like a posting schedule for TikTok. It was always 3 to 5 times a day for growth. And now that I've grown to a point that I'm where I'm at right now, I'm feeling overwhelmed with like, okay, because it's like post the podcast, and then I'm bringing like a YouTube series, spoiler alert, but I am in all these things. And but then it's at the same time, I'm managing the business aspect of TikTok and stuff like that. And I don't think that is something I was not expecting, where it's like, I have an amazing team, I have an amazing management, I have all of those things. And it's just, I just didn't realize how much of the business aspect was going behind all of this. And I don't even think I've scratched the surface, but like, just like the taxes or like the accounting or things like that. And I'm bringing people on my team and I'm so fucking lucky and fortunate that I can bring people on my team to help me with that. But I would just say like the business aspect of things has stressed me the fuck out, because I'm like, what do you like? It's just a lot, you know, like it's just a lot to deal with, where I'm like, I just want to make my TikToks. Like, I just want to do like, get ready with me. And it's like, babe, you got to do fucking taxes. And you guys are like, everyone has to do taxes, but I get that. And I hired an accountant and things like that, because it's like my taxes I have to do them quarterly. Don't get me started. Like, literally, don't get me started. Like, I start having them on TV right now. I'm like, holy fuck, you guys, like, I can't. Nope. And so it's just hiring a team, which I think is a little bit stressful because I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. I phrase it like this where it's like within 5 months, I just started running a business. And it's like, nobody teaches you how to run a business, and there's a lot of fails, there's a lot of mistakes and all those things. And it can be overwhelming and it can be very stressful. And that's totally normal and that's okay. But I also feel the burnout in the sense where like I was posting so much on TikTok, I was doing those things. I normally don't get burnt out with creative ideas. I kind of have the same cycle of like I fall asleep at night. I'm like, oh, that's the TikTok I want to make tomorrow kind of thing. So I think it was just the business side of things that were burning me out a little. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so stressful. I'm like, I just want to do my mascara on camera, please. And it's like, you can still do that, babe. And I don't know. I just think I've just been overwhelmed in general. And I'm learning how to take breaks because like I said, I was posting 3 times a day, every single day. So like, I just don't have a work-life balance where I don't know. I just like, I don't have a start and an end time to the day. Like I wake up and I'm go, go, go until I lay my head down at night. So I think I just need to learn how to have a work-life balance. And this is quite literally a therapy session for me. Sorry guys. I hope you love. Anyways. But you should allow yourself to have a work-life balance. I think my roommate is so good with a work-life balance where her work is her work and she works so fucking much Monday through Friday. But like Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, forget it. She's like living her best life. She's going out. She's doing all the things that she wants to do. And I'm like, I need to be better at that where it's like just cut it off for a second and like take the break before the burnout comes. Because like now I'm dealing with burnout and now I'm dealing with I felt a lot of stress and pressure to post every single day. And it's like, okay, you don't need to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like and it's like everyone wants you to do that. And it's like, I get it. But for like, I have to put my mental health first. Like, okay, my mental health, I need to take a break. And that's fine. So I think it's really important to take breaks before we get to burnout. And that's where like kind of where I'm at now, where I feel the burnout coming. So I'm trying to take breaks and I'm not going to post every single day, all day. And I'm just going to try and take the break so that I can be the best version of myself and come on that camera and be funny as fuck for all of you guys. Because that's what I want to do. I don't want you to feel like the burnt out version of me whatsoever. So yeah, let's talk about how to deal with burnout though. I think that's so important. Self-care before the burnout. I feel like all these things are perfect for the burnout when the burnout happens and then before the burnout. Self-care. So like I'm going to go through like my ways of self-care. I like to take a step back. I like to take a step back and just like breathe for a second and it's like, okay, whatever. But I'm like trying not to hold myself to unrealistic standards because I do have really big goals and dreams. And I think that mixed with perfectionism can be extremely overwhelming where it's like I hit these amazing milestones and I'm like, yes, that's so amazing. It's like I hit the million and then I'm like, okay, but 2 million. Like I could do better than that. Like 2 million, let's fucking go kind of thing. And I think that's like, it's like a little unhealthy, but it's okay. It keeps me going kind of thing. But I think it's important to take a step back and be like, look how amazing you're doing. Look how fucking good you're doing. Look how much work that you've put into this. Like you're giving it your all. You're doing the best you fucking can. Like you should be so proud of yourself. And I don't have moments like that often where I sit back and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so proud of myself. I'm like always working towards the next goal and accomplishing the next thing. And I think it's take a step back and be like, I am doing fucking amazing. I am doing so good. I am so proud of myself. Like I'm doing great. Like 16-year-old me would be fucking dying to see how amazing I'm doing right now. So I think it's really important to give yourself like a pat on the back for all the progress that you had and all the progress that you've been making and just be proud of yourself. But don't hold yourself to unrealistic standards, which like I say that and I'm also like, but yeah. Also, take time every day to do something you love. That can be so small from like getting your little iced coffee to going to the gym. But like there should be like 2 hours a day where you're just like really focusing on yourself and doing things that you genuinely love. That could be like reading a book or things like that. But I also think like this back to the self-care of this all. Like for me, self-care looks like I like to get a weekly massage or every other week get a massage because like my massage time is genuinely therapy to me. Like Coco, you guys, Coco, I love her so fucking dearly. She honestly saves my life every time I go in there. Don't know, she has magic fucking hands. She's like an actual queen. But she like, I get a massage. That's really good for my self-care. I go to the gym 6 times a week and that's more for my mental health rather than what I want to look like body wise, like, yeah, it all falls in together and stuff like that. But mental health, I need to go to the gym and I just need to get those thoughts out of my head and I need to release those endorphins. I need to feel good. I need to get like going. You know what I mean? So it's really important for me to like go to the gym. I fucking, let me tell you, I fucking love a steam room. You guys sit in a steam room for 30 minutes. It's brutal. And then take a cold shower after. You're a brand new woman. I swear to God, you can like conquer the world. Like, I promise you. It's like, so those are like little things that I do for self-care daily. I would not the massage though, but daily it's like I don't get okay, I do. And it's really bad financial decision, but like I do get a coffee daily because they make me fucking happy. It's like I just like to have my little bevy and that's that. And I'm like living my best life with my fucking bevy. Anyways, sorry, that was more focused towards my financial advisors that are going to be watching and be like, this bitch spends too much money on coffee. Anyways, fuck you. It makes me happy. If this $7 latte gets me through the day, then that's all I fucking need. And this was $9, but yes. So I think it's important, like, journal, read, listen to a podcast. Me, the podcast. No, but I love listening to Jay Shetty's podcast. It brings me like peace and calm and it makes me feel good. So I just like recommend just doing little things every day for self-care and making that a priority. Like before your work, before anything else, is like make that a fucking priority. It could be meditation, it could be anything, but make that a priority to focus on your self-care and your self-love so we can help avoid burnout. And I think self-care is a very important part of avoiding burnout and taking a break. So it's like a mix of like taking a break and avoiding and just like a bunch of fucking self-care in your daily routine. Just like do things that make you happy. Do fucking yoga. Like I love a good hot yoga session. It brings me back to life too. Like these are just little things that like genuinely help me with self-care and like avoiding burnout. It's like the little things that are going to release your endorphins, are going to make you fucking happy. Do those. I also love a deep clean to the apartment. Like deep cleaning my fucking apartment, nothing better. Nothing better than a good fucking deep clean to the apartment. It just resets my soul, resets my pussy, resets my vibe. You know what I mean? So it's just like I love those things. Also like to hang out with friends. And honestly, I know I talk a lot of shit about my friends. I love them dearly and I love just like I'm so excited for my birthday because we're all traveling for my birthday. I booked us the Airbnb and we're going to go and we're going to travel together. And like the most thing I'm excited about is like one of the days we're just sitting inside, we're cooking dinner together. They don't know this yet, but we're cooking dinner together and we're just like having a fucking time. And like that is what I value more than like going to the bars and like raging. Like I just value my one-on-one time with the people around me and like my circle. I don't know why I'm going to cry. But yeah, I just think that's like super fucking important to hang out with your friends, take a break from work, take a break from life and just laugh a little. Get a bottle of wine and just laugh a little. And like that's just kind of where I'm at, you know, where I just want to chit chat, laugh with my girlies, you know, and Tim. But yeah. Also, I think a good reminder of like why you're doing what you're doing. Like I know exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing and it's like so I can help you guys. I think that's like my biggest thing through everything is I've always said that is like I want to help women with self-confidence and men, but mostly like the women and my girls and my gays. Like I could give a fuck about these straight men out here. Go do your thing, whatever. But it's like I want to help my girls and my gays. I want you guys to have so much self-love, know your self-worth. I want to help you with your confidence and I want to do that all through humor and heart. Like that's just kind of like my mission statement, I guess we can say, that is just so fucking important to me, is making sure you guys are at your best, you know, and I'm helping you the best that I fucking can. And like, that's my why, you know, I think it's important that everyone has their why behind what they're doing. So at times that you're burning out or it's stressful or anything like that, you're like, okay, this is my why. This is exactly what I'm doing, like why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I'm not going to stop that. You know what I mean? So yeah, like you guys are my why. Even when I think about today where I was like, I don't want to record. And I was going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie. I was going to lie to you guys and be like, I'm so excited for Miami. Like, and I am so excited for Miami, but like, that's not the only thing on my mind. Like, yeah, I'm going through it a little bit today. My vibe's a little bit off. I allowed myself to be me just like bringing back up the breakup. It's a breakup. Me bringing it back up. But I'm like, fuck it. Like, it just hurts a little bit. And it's but it's like, this is my why, like I could have just been like, fuck it, like reschedule, just like contact my team and be like, reschedule this. But it's like, no, I want to come in here. I'm going to be open and honest and vulnerable with you. And it's like, my why is making sure you guys are good, and making sure I'm providing the best content that I can provide for you guys with like my heart, humor, giving you that self-confidence, that self-love that you deserve. Like you deserve that so fucking much. And I think that is the most important thing to me. So it's like, that is my why. That's what gets me up. That's what makes the TikToks keep going. That's what has the weekly podcast. You know what I mean? So that's extremely important to me. So remember your why. Also be proud of where you came and what you're doing. Like I said, just be proud of yourself. Like you worked your fucking ass off. Be so proud of yourself wherever you are and whatever chapter you are in your life or whatever season or whatever era you're at. Like just be so fucking proud of yourself because you did the damn thing. You didn't think you could do it, but look at you, bitch. You did it. So yeah, be proud of yourself. I think also noticing you're burning out is important. Like I like to deny my burnout a lot. I'm like, I'm good. And it's like, you're not good. Like, cause who says I'm good like that? You know what I mean? And it's like, it's okay to be burnt out. It's okay to feel exhausted. It's okay to be like, I literally don't know if I can do this. Like that's totally normal. It's like, it's so okay not to be okay. And it's just like day by day, hour by hour, minute by fucking minute. Like, let me tell you, today it is going to be hour by hour. Okay. And that's okay. How to cope. Let's talk about how to cope. At the end of the day, we want our mental health to be the most important thing. I think your mental health needs to be your priority above anything else. You have to make sure you're good before you can make sure everyone else in your life is good, if you know what I mean. Like you got to be good before you take care of other people. So I think it's really important to focus on mental health and mental sanity. Honestly, those things are important. And I think just like finding that self-care routine, finding those things that help you will really help with Menty bees and burnout. So yeah, I also love to do a me night. Like I literally love my alone time. I value my alone time so much. And I love to just have those nights where I'm by myself, where I'm like in my apartment. Hopefully my roommate's gone. Love you, B, but like get out. You know what I mean? Like, or even if she's there, I could still have my alone nights. That was so fucking rude of me. But where I like get a deep clean the apartment and then I make a really yummy dinner and I'm watching like my favorite YouTube or I'm watching my favorite show or anything like that. And I just have those moments with myself and I'm laughing and giggling. Like, I think it's so important to have those alone times because those are what like refresh me and those are what like keep me going. And like, I don't know, I value that more than anything. It's just like my alone time, my me time. It keeps me going. It keeps me sane. It keeps me gorgeous. Anyways, but yeah, also like I said, I just love to prioritize being alone more and just like my self-care. And I think that helps with my mental health a lot. So reminders on self-care things. I like a massage, the gym, hot yoga. I like eating out less because I feel like eating out, I don't know. Recently, I'm just like, this is excessive. Like, get me fucking HelloFresh. Anyways, that's not an ad and they can sponsor me. Anyways, but reading, just like spending nights alone, being by myself, like all of it, just my nails. Random. I'm going to get those done after. But just like focusing on those self-care things and like really honoring that and making that a huge part of your routine is like so important to avoid burnout and Menty bees. Because honestly, they're like tied in together. Also like a mental health walk. And I just think the most important thing is like take care of yourself and like make sure you're taking the best care of yourself and be fucking nice to yourself. Like I don't think we're really that nice to ourselves that much. So it's like you're doing the best you fucking can. And that's all that matters. That's all you need to be doing is the best that you can. Which is like a hard thing for me to like remember sometimes where I'm just like, damn. But yeah. I feel like that was like the Menty B episode. It's so funny that I'm recording the Menty B episode while I'm like in the midst of just like having a couple Menty Bs this week, but it's like you get to see the raw, real, and vulnerable version of me, and like that is what it is. And I'm so grateful for you guys, and I love you so much that this just feels like a safe space where I can come on here, talk my shit. You guys support me no matter what. Like that means more to me than anything, honestly. Like the community that I've built here is just... that is my why. That's my why. But yeah, I love you guys so, 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 so much. By the time this podcast comes out, it's going to be 2 weeks later. I'll probably have a new boyfriend. No, but I will just be, I'm good, I did have a little Menty bee, a little sad. That's okay. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to I'm going to wipe my tears. I'm going to get my iced coffee and I'm going to run this fucking business if it's the last thing I fucking do. Because is what it is, you know? Mm. But I do love every single one of you. Thank you so much. And if you're going through a hard time or you're struggling a little bit, you're not alone. It's okay to have a mentee be. Love yourself, honor yourself, focus on that self-worth, that self-care, that self-worth, and that self-love, because like you got to make sure you're good before anything else. So if you want more of me, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at She Is Livi. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube. I want to grow my YouTube fam a lot. So YouTube fam, who am I? Jake fucking Paul. Anyways, but I do want to grow the YouTube a lot. I love you guys so much. You're amazing. Yeah, okay, let me pause for